This is insane. Hey everybody, it's Sherry from Car Camp Journey, and look where I'm journeying to this beautiful sunny May day. Yeah, I'm at the beach in Texas. It's not one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, but it's still the beach and it counts. And it is just gorgeous out today. There is quite a bit of wind, but that's nothing new at the beach if you've ever hung out down this way. I'll show you a little bit more of this direction. Not too many cars and campers. And then this direction, we've got some houses further down the beach. And it looks like most of these people are just daytimers. So here's my little setup. I've got the tracks. I've got my little tule on top. And I have the potty tent set up because there are no porta potties within miles of here. And it's just going to have to happen at some point. I'm just saying. I've also changed clothes in there, so that's been kind of nice. Am I worried about the wind taking it all the way down the beach? Yes. I have some screwed in anchors, which I'll show you close-ups on in a little bit. But, you know, honestly, the little pokey in at an ankle steel ones seem to be holding the best. So we'll see. I do have it tied to my car just in case. Who knows? Who knows what the future will bring? So tomorrow is supposed to be a lot windier. That's a relative term. It's already 20-mile-an-hour winds. I think it may get up to 30-mile-an-hour gusts. But I'm going to be at a different location tomorrow, but I'm sleeping here tonight. So I'm really excited about this. I've never camped on the beach before. You know, one of my big concerns was, how am I going to power my CPAP? So I do have a Blue Eddy 1800 watt, and I've tested it at home. When I use the DC power and the DC, and use the adapter that makes it not require the humidifier, because that draws a lot more power as well. I have plenty of power for overnight, and maybe even a little more. So tomorrow I'm actually camping at a spot in Sargent that is a hip camp spot that actually has electricity and water. And I'm really excited to show that to you, because it's a lot more, I don't want to say isolated, because it's in a neighborhood, but it's right on the beach. And, I say right on the beach, it's across the dunes, right on the beach, because the dunes are such an important part of protection of the ecosystem here. So anyway, I'm about to go look for shells and get my feet in the water, and I'm so excited. So I'm glad you're here with me on this journey. It's going to be fun. Sand caving into that one. For Galveston water, it's fairly clear. I mean, we're not in Galveston, but this whole part of the coast in Texas is usually very silty, and that's why the shrimp industry does so well here. They're dependent on that. That silt carries a lot of nutrients to the shrimp and to other fish that are harvested commercially. But it's just so pretty out. So right here where the waves are breaking, look how far out I am. This is a great beach for little kids, as long as you keep a close eye, because I do notice that there can be rip currents here. But for the most part, it's pretty gentle, and the slope is very, very gentle. I'm standing actually on top of kind of a sandbar, and then there's a little dip down after you go down or go towards the shore. All right, here is a tour of the setup here at the beach. Let's start back here with the body tent. So I have this screw-in peg, but look how well this little metal one's doing. It's pretty good. And then I have the top tied off and down to my wheel well, because it's just extra insurance. If you notice, this end is not staked down because the little anchor part ripped out of this, which I'm going to repair, but haven't done so yet, of course. And then I've got another screw-in anchor. This is one I got off Amazon, and it is definitely very sturdy, and it went in pretty well. So I'm not as worried about it. I've got my sunshades up, although my Thule is locked. I got the things out of it that I needed to. I'm parked on firm sand. Y'all, this is important. You don't want to get into the soft sand, because then you won't be able to get out. But I'm also above the high tide mark, which is really important. So here's the dunes, and there are signs everywhere that say don't get in the dunes because they're snakes, and it's a very fragile ecosystem. So no, I'm not getting in the dunes. I'm just telling you. I have my bug screens up, but I don't have my windows down yet. I'll do that here in just a little bit. And my hatch is kind of a mess because I was indecisive about dinner. I had a late lunch, a really good lunch in Galveston, and I'm really not feeling that hungry. So I may just be leaving the dinner part off today, but these are going to get stored in the very front because they'll also help keep the sunshade up. And then everything else just kind of tucks into the side and leaves me with plenty of sleeping area. And then I've got my little bolt in the hatch to not run my battery down. Brought my water, and with my water, I also have a USB powered pump for it. So whenever I do want to wash hands or whatever it is I need to do with clean water, I'll have it. And then, yes, I'm going to try to paint later. Brought my table. It goes in the Thule as I drive, and my chair, and it goes in the Thule as I drive. So the sun's starting to set, and I do have wild hair. And the beach is emptying out. Look at this. I love it. It's just, it's so cool. I mean, really, when have you ever got to spend time at the beach where it wasn't crowded? I'm not a fan of crowds. I'm not a big people person. I mean, I like little people. That's why I was a teacher for so long. But big people, not so much. And then we have this gorgeous sunset.
morning here at the beach, and I know I say it's a beautiful morning all the time, but you know, if you have that expectation that it is going to be a beautiful day and a beautiful morning, it's a gratitude gesture for me because I really have been struggling with um, positivity, with all the stuff going on and all the things. It's kind of tough at times. So I've really been trying to make an effort every day of embracing the day. It's a beautiful day. I'm thanking God for all the blessings He's given me. Um, every morning I wake up and say, "Thank you for letting me still see," because it's a big deal for me. I'm just saying. So, but it really is beautiful out this morning. The wind is strong because we're at the beach, but look at that beautiful sunrise happening. It's just amazing.
So this is the bridge that you go over from one island to the next. And you can see crikeys. It's my first one. Here I am at my day 2 spot, and I found this on on Campendium actually, but it's a hip camp spot. Um, these people have made a little RV parking rental space for visitors right here on the beach. It's pretty cool. It's got power and water, and I already set up the potty tent. Um, I do have power going in the car, charging things, but I'm also trying to see how fast my Blue Eddy charges with my Jackery uh, portable solar panel. So we'll see. I've got my window screens up, keeping the bugs out, although with this wind, there's not a ton of bugs right now. I love this little shade structure. This is awesome. And even though this is not paved, it's pretty solid. It looks really good. The only thing I even am remotely worried about is I saw lots of raccoon tracks on my way down to the water. So tonight I'm just going to make sure that I have everything put away wherever it needs to be. So, yep, I have my little stuff set out. and watching this crazy, crazy surf. It's as I mentioned, or will mention, it's a small craft advisory. The winds are high. You can tell, well, you can kind of tell. The surf has really churned up a lot of the silt closer to shore, but you can see where the blue line is a little bit further out. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's very comfortable out, even though it's, mid 80s. The shade makes all the difference. It's really nice. Whew, this is insane. I mean, we have small craft warning, so it is super windy. But I never knew that this was here. So all up and down this coast is this granite. And it's kind of like a shoreline jetty, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's just a whole lot of energy. A whole lot. This granite breakwater was basically designed and installed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in the 90s. And it was designed to help basically prevent inland storms from storm surge, damaging a lot of the homes, and to help prevent coastal erosion. It's just very unique.